It has now been confirmed that Emma Stone was set to return as Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man No Way Home, but plans ultimately fell apart. So this is a confirmation that comes at us courtesy of MCU The Reign of Marvel Studios, the book that's been making all the rounds in recent memory, and we've gotten a lot from it, quite honestly. So a part of the book that's recently been discussed pretty heavily is everything revolving Spider-Man, but I suppose that's really a thing that's always been discussed when it comes to Marvel. Well, in the book, it is confirmed that various versions of Spider-Man No Way Home were being written, and at one point, multiple scripts incorporated the return of Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy. The decision, according to the book, was due to the fact that there was already so much going on, and that they were actively trying to look at how could they include all the other love interests and females that could still be incorporated into each Spider-Man story. Quickly, the story ballooned so far out of the size, scope, and scale of being about the Spider-Man that they realized, oh, we got to go back and take all of this out. None of this actually works because there's just too much going on. And it's also revealed that each character, including Gwen Stacy, that they thought about bringing back, went through tons of different iterations in terms of what were they doing. How did they incorporate into the story? How did they bounce back and forth with their Spider-Man? And what story can we tell? And at every single point, they were pretty much running into a brick wall. And they more or less realized, again, it's getting out of the scope of the story that we're trying to tell. And they were also told that they can't really reveal more details because you never know what could happen. But ultimately, they believe that if the studios wanted to, they could, because they tried, but again, the story needs to be there and they got to figure it out. So it's one of these things where if you look at the scenario, it makes sense. Like, Gwen Stacy would not have fit Spider-Man No Way Home at all, because then Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker's whole story goes in a completely different angle, because they're talking about his Gwen Stacy. Like, what happens there? Does she just join him and suddenly it's like, wait, she's back? Does this mean that the TASM 3 with the Jackal and the clones is valid? Like, it brings up a lot of questions, so it's a major problem. Now, I do know something about this that nobody's talking about, and clearly they didn't find out in the book. There's a lot more to her return that isn't being said here, which I wish I could talk about a little bit more. Well, maybe I can at some point. I don't know. Let me reach out to a couple people and see if they're good with me talking about what they told me in relation to Gwen Stacy's return and some of the other factors that went into this, because this ties very much into how I told you guys about a year and a half before Sony ripped Spider-Man away from Marvel Studios. This was from that same initial dump that 3 separate people gave me that seems to all be coming true. I don't know. Let's do the old thing. If this video gets enough likes and comments for me to make that video, I will reach out to my people. If they tell me I can make it, I will make it. It's going to be a little bit more in-depth. And you guys are going to truly see some interesting stuff that I can't talk about just yet. But, oh boy. Oh boy.